The year 2024 has delivered some true survival film gems, where characters face not only the elements, but also their own weaknesses. In this list, you'll discover movies that keep you on the edge of your seat from the first minute, pulling us into worlds full of dangers and dramatic decisions. Number 10. Never Let Go. Evil has taken over the world, and each step towards survival becomes more and more desperate. The mother, played by Halle Berry, knows that the only protection for her and her sons is the invisible bond that holds them together. Any break in contact could be an invitation to dark forces. They must remain close, literally and emotionally entwined, to survive. However, when one of the boys begins to doubt the reality of evil, the bond is severed. This opens the way for the darkness, and the nightmare that pursues them grows ever closer, forcing them to fight for their lives, in which any mistake could spell their end. Number 9. Slingshot. Aboard the spaceship Odyssey, the crew is preparing to perform one of the riskiest maneuvers in the history of space missions, the titular Slingshot. The plan is simple, albeit terrifying. Use the gravity of the planets to change the speed and trajectory of the ship, saving precious fuel, and reach Titan. But something goes horribly wrong. Instead of a safe maneuver, the ship begins to drift out of control, threatening to throw it into the endless abyss of space. The crew faces a nightmare where every moment of delay brings them closer to an inevitable dark death in the depths of space. Number 8. Land of Bad. A Delta Force team is sent to the Philippines to rescue valuable CIA assets, but the mission quickly turns into a nightmare. As a result of a brutal counterattack, young Officer Kinney is cut off from the rest of the squad, alone in the heart of a murderous jungle. The terrain, where every step can end in death, becomes his prison. His only hope for survival is a drone operator, Reaper, who tries to be his eyes and ears in this deadly game. For 48 hours, Kinney fights hunger, growing fear, and an army of ruthless killers pursuing him. There is no mercy in the jungle. Something lurks in the darkness that offers no second chances. Number 6. Alien Romulus. The film's plot takes us beyond Earth, first to a remote mining colony, and then to a mysterious, long-abandoned space station. The young heroes, disillusioned by the callous policies of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, discover a signal from the forgotten Renaissance station orbiting a nearby planet. In an act of desperation, they decide to take an unauthorized flight, hoping that the station might be their chance to escape the colony and make a better life on a new planet. But they soon discover that the abandoned station hides a dark secret that could turn their dreams of freedom into a nightmare from which there is no escape. Number 5. Arcadian. In a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has almost been wiped out, life goes on in the shadow of fear. Paul and his 2 sons, Thomas and Joseph, struggle daily to survive in a world where any sound can mean mortal danger. Mysterious creatures appear at night, hunting down anyone who dares to remain outside. The family manages to survive only through discipline and rules. However, everything changes when one of the sons does not return before dark. Paul sets out on a desperate search, knowing that the darkness hides something far worse than just darkness. Number 4. The Goat Life. The Goat Life is the story of a man named Najib, who abandons his family and sets out from the green expanses of Kerala, seeking a better life in the endless desert of the Middle East. Instead of his dreams coming true, however, hell awaits him. Imprisoned on a goat farm, forced into slave labor under the scorching sun, he begins to lose hope and slowly forgets who he used to be. Surrounded by an endless void, cut off from the world and his family, he must face his own madness. In desperation, his only companions become goats and camels. Armed only with fragile hope and spirituality, Najib undertakes a fight for survival, facing monstrous conditions that seem designed to destroy him. Number 3. Darkgame. A series of mysterious kidnappings is taking place in Portland, where random residents become participants in a dark, illegal reality show broadcast on the darknet. The rules are simple but terrifying. You lose, you die. The organizers, hailing from a violent underworld, are outdoing themselves in devising increasingly cruel and ruthless ways to eliminate the players, to the delight of viewers in the darkest corners of the internet. Detective Ben Jacobs and his cybercrime team face an extremely difficult task. They must find a way to stop these brutal games before it's too late. Time is running out, and each new episode of the show means more victims. Number 2. Before Dawn. This is a moving story about a group of soldiers fighting on the Western Front during World War I. A young man who leaves his family's sheep farm in the Australian bush enlists in the army with the hope of helping to end the bloody conflict. But instead of heroism and glory, he faces the brutal reality of trench warfare, where every day is a struggle for survival. Surrounded by constant danger, he must face the specter of death, not only for himself but also for his comrades, knowing that no one can ever be left behind, even as everything around him descends into chaos. Number 1. Force of Nature, The Dry 2. Detective Aaron Falk is back in action to solve the mystery of a mysterious disappearance in the Australian bush. Alice Russell disappeared without a trace, and on the night of her disappearance she made only 2 phone calls, one to the emergency services and the other to Aaron. As the detective digs deeper into the case, he discovers that each of the women who accompanied Alice on the trip tells a different version of events. As Falk enters the dark and impenetrable forest, he uncovers a web of secrets that connect the 5 participants, their mutual suspicions, betrayals, and hidden secrets. Was it these dark relationships that led to the disappearance? These were the most thrilling survival films of 2024, packed with tension and unexpected twists. If you enjoyed this list, recommendations.